ಸಲ್ಲಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಾಗಾರದ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಾದ ಶ್ರೀ ಪರ್ವೇಶ್ ಕೊಣ್ಣೂರ್, ಶ್ರೀ ದಿಲೀಪ್, ಅಡಿಷನಲ್ ಸೂಪರಿಂಟೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಕನ್ನಡ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ನಾಗರಾಜ್ IG ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್, ಶ್ರೀ ಮೋಹನ್ ರಾಮ್, ವಿಶೇಷ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿ ಕುವೆಂಪು ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾನಿಲಯ, ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್
will have a patent over that and right, but he cannot restrict it for his own use or to somebody's use. It is to be made available to the world at large, and similar creations or similar patents are being created by way of duplication or by way of superimposition. But nonetheless, all those creations will be ultimately for the public good and the public welfare, and these innovations or these creations do have to be regulated in the democratic system that we do often by way of legislations or precedents by the judicial decisions. We regulate this in the matter of utility as well as in the matter of regulating utilizing the system as a matter of transfer of technology and a matter of transnational innovative things. Whenever it comes to the question of exploitation, those things have to be regulated in the interest of the society at large and the interest of the person who has created. So just I will with a keynote address, I will just try to put forth my views with reference to so many experience of so many authors. The intellectual property, the copyright and patent law for the layman is the subject of the today. Of course, as Mr. Hegde said, each one of us is a genius. Only 5% is being exploited and 95% is being left out. For that, we have to work hard to have an exposure, to innovate, to have an innovative thinking and approach to come out with our own research ideas or innovative ideas for the betterment of the society at large. The right to prevent others from using ideas or information to their own commercial advantage is not easily delineated. Legal techniques are more sophistication is called for, and this has until recently made intellectual property somewhat esoteric specialization. But particularly in industrial free market economics, these intangible property rights become increasingly valuable in the fight to secure and retain shares of the market. Patents give a temporary protection to the technological inventions and design rights to appearance of a mass-produced goods. Copyrights give longer lasting rights, for instance, literary, artistic, and musical creations trade. Trademarks are protected against imitations so long at least as they continue to be employed in trade. This is a branch of law which protects some of the finer manifestations of human achievement. Intellectual property protects application of ideas and information that are of commercial value. The subject is growing in importance to advanced industrial countries in particular as the fund of exploitable ideas becomes more sophisticated and as their hopes for a successful economic future came to depend increasingly upon superior corpus of new knowledge and fashionable concepts. Recently, there has been a great deal of political and legal activity designed to assert and strengthen the various steps of protection of ideas. There have been a succession of campaigns for new rights like new varieties of plants, circuit of silicon chip, protecting computer program, etc. No country favors conferring on the creator of an idea a perpetual property in it against imitators. That's what Mr. B.M. Hegde has exactly said. As set of limited forms of protection are fashioned against some types of exploitation by others. The root issue to which we constantly refer is whether the balance achieved by their approach is broadly appropriate to the economic needs of the country and to the prevailing sense of what is just. Legislation and judicial decisions. As a regime is developed for protecting a form of intellectual property, a number of basic conditions have to be made. The operative rules vary because each type of subject matter calls for different balance of public and private interests, the interest of society as a whole in its economic and cultural development, and the interest of the individual to secure a fair value for his intellectual effort or investment of capital or labor. The intellectual property rights are founded on legislation. The patent system owes its origin to common law as early during the year 1624. A statute of monopolies came to be codified. Evolution of copyright traced back to strategic decision and codification as early as during 1774. The courts have extended the action against breach of confidence. The law should act against dishonest business practices, unfair competition, or misappropriation of trade values. The law dealing with copyright and patent do regulate and protect private rights of intellectual and innovative creations founded on the principles of ubi juris, ubi remedium. The remedy against abuse is by way of injunction in civil action and also awarding damages, and in extreme cases invoking a penal provisions against imitations or violations of intellectual property of the creator, and to impose penalty to prevent such abuse and unfair competition apart from initiating tortious actions. The growth of trade competition has brought ever increasing advantage to those in the van of innovation. The intellectual property rights which help to sustain the lead of those with technical know-how with successful marketing schemes have come to foster immense commercial returns. The increasing number of patents granted and trademarks registered and upsurge of publishing records, producing, filmmaking, broadcasting, etc. stands as some measure of this development. Piracy has become flagrant and it is possible on a scale that is just as new. The legal techniques framed are inadequate to regulate the unethical and unfair practice of imitation and violations. On the national and international organization and interested groups seek to further protect the right to regulate the unhealthy activities and misuse of intellectual property. Certain government organizations like patent offices brought plans for rationalizing and regulating their activities. Domestic legislation to adopt and further international obligations to maintain uniformity in adopting and protecting intellectual property rights such as copyrights and patents. Based on GATT negotiations, countries do adopt adequate laws and provide the infrastructure for their enforcement. The emergence of parliamentary democracy provided a new reason and legislation, and the intellectual property rights are actively protected. Judicial interpretations and the precedents do form the guideline in regulating their unfair competition and excessive competition. It is a time to draw a line between fair and unfair competition, what is reasonable and unreasonable. The growth of international organizations under the UNO has provided forum for discussions such as World Intellectual Property Organization, Paris Convention on Industrial Property, Berne Convention of Copyright, UNESCO deals with the copyright matters, etc. The challenges to intellectual property. Demand for increased protection has arisen in the developing countries, which are only beginning to exploit intellectual property of their own, often find themselves with an inheritance of protectionist laws. Yet, in the race of development, there is a real need to acquire technology from advanced nations, and there is often strong popular demand for products. Patent, copyright, and trademarks laws give the security and will continue to attract foreign enterprise. There may be compulsory licensing requirements, curbs on payment of royalty, or the terms on which foreign rights owners establish their own local operations or grant licenses. The monopolist behavior. It can be it can be thought in terms of one's ability to restrict and supply of commodity. This has a consequential effect on its price. Supplier is in a position to reduce the quantity of something that the public wants. He will be able to effect an increase in its price. He then behaves as a monopolist. If on the contrary he has a competitors enough, it will not avail him to reduce his output. And of course, to raise his prices unilaterally would be merely to invite his customers to take their business to a cheaper competitors, and whether the competitors offer precisely the same products or things more or less similar, which the public will treat as substitutes. The consumers are left by the monopolist behavior to buy something else less valuable to them. The monopolist loses the incentive to keep down costs that comes from competition. Advanced industrial societies engage in containing debate and about the advisability of taking steps to curb the damages set by monopolists. The current growth of antitrust laws is an indication of increasing concern over the scale of profit and economic power of private enterprises. Regarding the enforcement of rights to protect intellectual property by way of civil action, criminal proceedings, administrative procedures, and measures of self-help. The act of infringement for which the enforcement measure is maintainable by way of cautious inventions of property. In that regard, a question would arise about the people who have right to sue and whom they may proceed against. A person with purely equitable title is permitted to bring a motion for interlocutory relief, but he may not proceed further without joining the legal owner. In the case of patents, the true owner is entitled to sue, but risk of failing to secure damages on account of profits though not registering. In the case of registered design and registered trademarks, registration of assignment of title is a prerequisite. In the case of patent, copyright, and unregistered design right, an exclusive licensee is entitled to bring the proceedings, joining the proprietor as a defendant if he will not be joined as a plaintiff. To say, the licensee then cannot sue for infringement of intellectual property, but must rely upon their licensors to take action. However, representative action may be pursued against the defendant who is allegedly been selling a pirated tapes of copyright, sound recordings, etc. In those circumstances, court would order not only an injunction but require as to damages suffered by all those members. The invention that is the subject of a patent is defined principally in the claims of patent specifications. It is then infringement to make, sell, or use this invention in the various ways prescribed in the Patent Act. A person who performs such an infringement act is liable in respect of it, and anyone else who collaborates in a common design to do the act will be liable as a joint tortfeasor. Under the common law, general torts covering the economic laws, it is by way of passing off and injurious falsehood. A person can be responsible when someone interferes with intellectual property or proposes to do so. The requirement to record, the requirement to proceed to take action by the plaintiff against the defendant for such violations must be the defendant must be acting intentionally or recklessly, that the plaintiff must suffer damage, and it would not be actionable if there are justification open to the defendant. Failure to prevent those from infringing the intellectual property amount to tort of negligence. In the case of Dorset Church versus Home Office, 1970 AC, 1004 House of Lords, it observed that there are circumstances in which one person owes a duty of care to prevent the deliberate conduct of another if it may injure the plaintiff, whether specifically or economically, and the duty arises once the injurious effect on the plaintiff can reasonably be foreseen unless there is a overriding reason for not imposing it. For example, a printer who produces the labels for a skin cream to the order of the customer without knowing or inquiring about the latter's proposed use of them would be liable for any infringement of copyright, but he would not be having an additional duty to discover whether the customer would engage in passing off skin creams as the plaintiffs. Those who merely facilitate infringement by others without controlling what they do or positively encouraging it are not to be brought within the bounds of legal responsibility. As far as infringement of copyright and patent rights, most claimants make use of civil process because it is appropriate to the assertion of the private property rights among us businessmen to secure injunction and damages which are more useful than punishment in the name of the state. As a matter of experience, civil actions are more preferred than criminal actions. Infringement, as there is a high burden of proof on the prosecution in a criminal proceeding, and the defendant must be shown to be guilty beyond reasonable doubt, and not merely on a preponderance of probabilities. And it may be difficult to demonstrate if the type of offence required proof of mens rea to say that he knew or had reason to believe that he was committing an infringement act. The Copyright and Patents Act and the Trademark do provide a special procedure and regulatory measures and also adequate provisions for fulfillment of international obligations, and administrative authorities have been appointed to regulate and enforce the statutes. The authorities such as Registry of Copyrights, who acts and superintends under the direction of the central government to maintain the register of copyrights, and such register will easily make available useful information to the interested persons of the public in regard to the copyright aspects. Not to encourage registration of the copyrights, provision is made that no proceedings regarding infringement of copyright shall be instituted unless the copyright is registered in the Copyright Office. The duties of the Registrar of the Copyrights would be to entertain and dispose of applications for compulsory license and to inquire into the complaints of importing or infringing rights, and also an appellate forum is provided against the orders of registrars. Provisions are also provided for setting up a copyright board which will determine the reasonableness of the rates of fees, charges or royalties and claimed by performing rights societies, the applications of general license for public performance or worse, and will assess the compensation payable in certain circumstances. Normally, the term of copyright is fixed to be life of the author, or which may be for 25 years after his death, and a short term as fixed anomalous or pseudonymous works such as photographs, cinematography, etc. And also the sole rights to produce the transaction of the work first published and is extinguished after 10 years unless a transaction thereof is produced within the period. A provision is also provided under the Copyright Act for general or special license for public performance of any work by omission of mechanical contrivance. A provision is also provided for regulating activities for performing rights societies, loss of or controlling fees, charges or royalties to be collected by them. Even the international copyrights relation, which are based on international treaties, could be regulated by specific orders by the order of the central government. Regarding the patent rights, among the European countries, European Patent Convention 1973 made a way for new European Patent Office, which grants a bundle of national patents in common forum, of which one is European patent, to an application to the EPO, it is the European Patent Office, for patent in EEC countries may mature into a single community patent covering the whole common market. The main provision of this scheme are contained in the Community Patent Convention of 1975. The Patent Cooperation Treaty 1970 system provides for a single application to initiate international patent applications in a number of countries throughout the world. Thereafter, it transmits application to national officers for them to decide for grant of patent for their territories. Exchange of technology has been the chief point of maintaining a patent system in countries whose socialized economies provide little reason for offering market power as a reward to domestic inventors within a planned economy. It is logical to encourage innovation, but it shall not be forgotten to preserve the originality of the domestic age-old patents and the quality, and to encourage home-based industry while accommodating innovations. Transfer of technology is a practical expression of the search for a new international economic order. Though International Economic Convention Code of Conduct has then evolved to some extent to regulate the transfer of technology, patent grant would be formally notified. It may be for a fixed term as per the limitation fixed in the code or legislation, for a period of 20 years or so. And it may also require annual payments of renewal fees, etc. Patent laws have to be defined, have to define types of subject matter to which extends protection. Agriculture, horticulture, and animal husbandry have been transformed by artificial procedures in which natural growth is affected by chemical at stake, and rather new experiments on the biological products, although economically advantageous, but side by side, preserving the originality of the natural products shall not be ignored. The Patent Act of 1970 is an improvement over the Indian Patent Design Act of 1911. The original Patent Act was enacted to save the interests of inventors by British rulers. Due to substantial change in the political and economic conditions of the country, a comprehensive law on the subject has been enacted in the year 1970 after long deliberation since 1949. The need for a comprehensive law so as to ensure more effectively the patent rights are not worked out to the detriment of the consumers of the Patent Act is to distinguish inventions which are not patentable and some of them inventions for which a license could be granted. On such application for patents, and also after calling for objections by the controller who has been appointed in this regard, would accord license, and also register is being made to the regulatory authorities and to the government to safeguard the interests of the copyrights and patent rights and also the trademark rights. In a democratic system, though private interests have been given a priority in the field of science and technology and inventions, but still, as a regulatory measure, it is democratic government to act as a conduit pipe in maintaining harmonious relations and the rights of the authors, in protecting the rights of the authors and inventors, and simultaneously to promote the welfare of the public. So this is a keynote which I have prepared with reference to some of the books. Of course, as rightly pointed out in the inaugural speech itself by Mr. Hegde, it is each one of us having a capacity on dedication and acquiring a knowledge and exposing ourselves with an exposure and the world at large word knowledge, then we can think of creating something which is useful to the society, which we can create a patent by registering itself as per the regulations. Though there are certain certain of the authorship is being identified, ultimately it has to be regulated by the legislations. And as we know, earlier the trademark law, the patent law and the copyright act also have provided a safeguard in the democratic system to protect the individual rights or intangible rights of the innovations and these inventions. This protection, as a matter of fact, not only to protect the individual interest, those who have produced, but also to expand it and to make it useful for damages or for injunctions on the civil side. So of course, piracy is also treated as a criminal action, and misusing or duplication of these things in the same patent on the same patent or by other similarly with a patent mark. Rather, it is very difficult to distinguish in such a way that duplication is being carried out. These are all the activities to be regulated in the interest of the society at large and to provide a better and quality goods to the public at large. Of course, the same product would be, as Mr. Hegde said, the same product would be supplied to the market. Of course, it is being also more useful, simultaneously more complicated, and as a matter of regulatory measures, it is for the democratic system to provide for legislations to regulate the activities in the interest of the economic order and the welfare of the public at large. So I found an occasion to be amidst you in this today with Mr. Professor Ravindra and with all the students who are eagerly participating in this subject, which is of course recently is being thought of to teach to these students. When we studied the law, this was not a subject at all, and of course here and there we used to come across whenever we used to study the chapter on international law. But now it is one of the main aspects